Please welcome to the podium your 2021 Main Campus Valedictorian, Kat Takita.
Thank you, Brianna, for the introduction. Before I begin, I know a lot of my family and friends are watching on the live stream back home, and knowing my family, Cheers, guys. Parents, students, family and friends, faculty and staff, especially Dean Pariga, Provost Dr. Elizabeth Johnson, President Dr. John Hopkins, and the deans of each school, thank you for coming to celebrate the amazing accomplishments of the classes of 2020 and 2021. Since commencement has been pushed back 2 whole months, I've had a lot of time to reflect on my academic career and my life in general, really. And I've come to the conclusion that I stand here before you today, decorated in the regalia of half a dozen organizations, the product of almost unbelievable privilege. I know that word carries a lot of stigma today. So many people try to downplay or downright ignore the gravity inherent in their own privilege. But despite the stigma, despite the discomfort, it needs to be addressed. I am a straight, white, cisgender passing individual with a first name rooted in Western culture who was raised Roman Catholic in a middle-class suburban neighborhood. I have never had anyone tell me that I couldn't practice my religion. I have never been treated differently because of the color of my skin or who I decided to date. I attended a decent high school and worked a part-time job for pocket money, not to support my family. This isn't to say I didn't struggle some while growing up. You can make the argument that because I identified as female most of my life, there were less opportunities for me, or that because I was the middle child of 6, I was at an economic disadvantage. I was also a band geek and a theater nerd, so you could tell where I stood in the high school social hierarchy. But despite all of those personal struggles, I stand here before you today, top of my class, by simply being born white, by being born into the middle class, by identifying with a sexual orientation that aligns with the societal standard. I was dealt the cards I needed to sweep the table, assuming I knew how to play them. My privilege gave me a 9-foot ladder to get out of a 10-foot hole. Society gave me all the tools needed to be successful, all the same tools that many of my fellow straight, white, cisgender colleagues also possess. All that was required was for me to know how to use those tools in a way that benefited me. And I did. I took my suburban middle-class education and got into a good school on scholarship and took advantage of the opportunities that that education presented to me. I built a 12-inch step stool and got out of that hole with very little difficulty. And looking around, I see a group of amazing college graduates who did the very same thing, some of whom had much smaller initial ladders to get out of that same 10-foot hole, who put so much more work into scaling the rest of that wall. And as I stand here at the edge of the hole, I have to wonder, why did we pull our ladders up after us? Couldn't I have left mine down and let others climb out with me? I have all of this knowledge, all of this experience, all of these resources, and yet there are still so many people down in that hole. My privilege, while it cleared the path for me to be successful, while it got me out of that hole, is only as beneficial and positive as I choose to make it. We are living in a time of tremendous inequality. Racism, sexism, social injustice, discrimination, civil unrest, these words are a part of our daily lexicons, and these issues are not going away anytime soon. Just in the past year, we have seen spikes in legislation from anti-transgender bills to immigration reforms. We've seen the rise of powerful movements like Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate, and an even more devastating increase in violence against the people these groups seek to protect. The hate, we know, is not new. But the coverage is. The awareness we all have is, and the opportunities we have to make an impact are growing. Privilege, whether or not we'd like to admit it, is real, tangible, and makes a hell of a difference when it comes to who makes it out of that hole and who spends years of their lives scrambling for even ground. And that's where we need to make a difference. So Broadway's coming back, and in honor of my own personal obsession with musicals, I'd like to share with you a line from the Tony Award-winning musical Hadestown. Show the way so we can see. Show the way the world can be. If you can do it, so can she. If she can do it, so can we. This calls to mind the responsibility each and every one of us have to pave the way for the world we dream about. I have decided to devote my life to the field of social work, where I will serve as an advocate for those of us still down in that hole. In choosing this path, I am devoted to a lifetime of learning, adapting, and applying the resources my privilege presents to me in the hopes that I can get as many people out of that hole as possible. Some of us here will go on to be doctors or nurses to break the medical boundaries for those of us still down in that hole. Some of us will enter the counseling world, where they will work to destigmatize mental health and remind people that they are not alone. Some of us will enter the business world, where they will prove that diversity is a valuable asset, not just a measurable quota. Some of us will go on to be teachers and will instill in the next generation the idea that they are valued and that their lives are meaningful. Yeah. You know, guys. Some of us will enter the communications field and will bring integrity and honesty back to our newspapers, blogs, and social media outlets. Yeah, guys. This is you. And some of us will enter the legal system, where they will fight to end this debate over whose lives are worth living, because at the end of the day, we need to stop putting qualifications on the right to exist. I can't speak to the experiences of my classmates, but I can use my privilege, my platform, to draw attention not only to the issues that plague our nations, but to the amazing things that my classmates have accomplished and will continue to accomplish in the years to come. To quote Hadestown one last time, let's raise a glass to the world we dream about and the one we live in now. To the classes of 2020 and 2021, congratulations. I cannot wait to see the world we build.